Good day, everyone. Another episode, and today I'd like to talk about the Bloomberg New Energy Finance, or BNEF, Energy Transition Investment Trends Report for 2023, which was published a few days ago in January and looks back at 2022. So the reason why I'd like to go through this is to highlight some key trends and also perhaps conclude something from those and provide some indicators and my own thoughts. But anyway, let's get into it. Some interesting initial high-level trends. The first one is energy transition investments have been estimated to touch around $1.1 trillion, US dollars, that is, in 2022. Now, that's an increase of 31% compared to the previous year, but to put it into perspective, that has for the first time become equivalent to fossil fuel investments, which are around a similar level. So that's a pretty big milestone. Of that investment, energy transition investment. Let's tackle that first. So what does that mean? It's renewable energy, it's electrification of transport, energy storage, sustainable buildings, hydro, and also nuclear. That's in the context of BNEF's definition. This report, by the way, is available online and you can download it by typing in those keywords that I mentioned. But it's a pretty authoritative one, so hence why I'm going through it. Now, the very interesting trend is that of the $1.1 trillion, majority of that investment split into two categories. And if we look at electrification of transport, so electric vehicles, that has increased by 54% year on year to about 466 billion US dollars. Whereas renewable energy increased 17% year on year to just under 500 billion US dollars. So you can see the magnitude, and you can also see the direction relatively of those sectors that I mentioned, specifically electric vehicles. Now, the other salient feature that's in the report that I pulled out for purpose of this discussion is that 50% of that investment, when we're talking globally, if I didn't mention that already, my apologies, that figure is global, but 50% of that was in China. 50% of that investment in the energy transition was in China. So let's now take that all together, okay? What I see is huge increase in investments. It shows the continued trend. What we're also seeing is that the majority of it currently is still in China, which indicates to me, based upon recent policy announcements in particular, of course, Inflation Reduction Act, EU's Green Deal, and its industrial initiatives, critical mineral acts that have been passed both United States and Europe. We also know about the CHIPS Act, etc. If you put all that together, then I see two salient features here. One is the big increase and continued penetration of electric vehicles, and the second I see is a gearing up from a policy level with all these support, subsidies or incentives that are available in the EU and United States. So from my perspective, there are many areas in the value chain that one can invest, but what I will be looking at, in addition to the obvious famous super stock Tesla, which has been on a tear since the beginning of this year after the collapse in 2022. In addition to that, as I mentioned before, I'm focusing now, and we're moving closer to some more analysis, specific sector analysis than company analysis, on the side of critical minerals. that's what is going to be needed for this energy transition in those different areas. Yes, renewable energy is driving needs for copper and power grids and aluminium, etc. But especially the energy storage and electrification of transport is driving the demand for very specific minerals. And like lithium, there will be others like graphite, manganese, etc. So I think now it's about we've discussed the concept of thematics. I discussed that previously. We start to look at bringing in the trends to unpack the thematic and the trends, and then I have sort of delineated further and moved into sectors. So by sector, I mean I'm now really focused on the critical minerals and location specific. So with the huge potential in the United States and the EU, I will now be focusing on critical minerals either in EU, the United States, or countries, friendly countries with trade agreements, etc. Because that is where we're going to find some major potential investments for potential very high returns. I'll leave you with that thought. Again, have a look at the report online. I found it interesting, just that those high-level snippets, and gives a good direction in terms of where to focus and what direction this particular thematic is taking. Enjoy your day, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Until next time, thank you.